Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the 1916Company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is the Audemars Piguet Code 1159 Tourbillon Openworked blue ceramic. It has a blue ceramic mid case as well as a white gold exoskeleton, if you will. So all of the elements that are metal are white gold, all the elements are blue, are ceramic. A fascinating watch. It was the first blue ceramic version of the Code 1159, having previously debuted on the Royal Oaks. Interesting watch at 41 millimeters in diameter. It's nice and thin, only 10.9 millimeters thick and 49.8 from lug to lug with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Because it is very thin, it wears nicely. Now it's broad across the wrist at almost 50 millimeters, so that's going to be the limiting factor. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference, and although the watch is flat and will easily slide under a tight cuff, it is broad, so I'm going to recommend this for a wrist my size or larger. So 16 centimeters circumference and up. Taking a look at the strap, it appears to be rubberized textile with a rubber inlay on the bottom, but Audemars Piguet describes this as rubberized calfskin leather. So that's how I'm going to describe it. I will say up top, it appears to be textile with a rubber-like texture, and on the bottom, it appears to be a rubber inlay, but apparently there is leather in here as well, and Audemars Piguet wants you to know that. The strap is held to the case using screws and bars, and you can see the screws are hexagonal, and yes, that's a Royal Oak reference. You can also see that the clasp, and this is a pre-owned watch, so you can see it's not been refinished. That is exactly how it left the previous owner's wrist, but it's made of white gold, and it's a twin trigger release, which is a nice thing to have because I have found quite a few high-end watches today from AP, from Jaeger-LeCoultre, even Patek Philippe, giving us pin buckles on complications, precious metal watches and flagship pieces. So getting a double folding clasp and the security of trigger release, I like that quite a bit. There's a combination here of polish, of satin, though admittedly a little bit war-torn, and then media blast on the bottom. And it is fixed to the strap, which is in very good shape. You can see that this is a brand new Audemars Piguet factory strap with no crimping, no gouging. The case is a fascinating one. You can see how the Code 1159 has always been more nuanced than it appears in online photos. The bezel's very minimal. In fact, you can see the case back and the bezel up top are themselves quite spare, and in profile the lugs are evacuated, airy, like the flying buttresses of a Gothic cathedral, that there's fine beveling on the outside of them, but also on the inner profiles of these lugs there's beveling, and they're oddly assembled in that they're welded directly to the upper bezel, but if you look carefully you can actually stick a piece of thin paper in here. The lugs are not physically in contact with the case back, and this is undoubtedly there so that the interior of the lugs and the profile of the case can be finished intricately. You can see that the blue ceramic mid-case features both polish and satin, and then it is a rounded octagon, and yes, that is another Royal Oak reference. Rolling around, you can see the unusual camber of this sapphire, particularly when viewed from 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock positions. The refractory patterns it throws up have been one of the most intriguing and also one of the most misunderstood elements of the Code 1159 since the model's launch in 2019. Very difficult to pick anything like that up if you're looking at a photo online that looks like this. But once you start to move, then you really see it. Not just the camber, there's a boxed vertical lip that gives it sort of a hard-edged aesthetic. We've got the Audemars Piguet crown with a combination of satin and polish. This watch is variously reported by Audemars Piguet itself as being 20 meters or 30 meters water resistant, and there's disagreement between their press material and their website. So I'm just going to say consider a dress watch water resistant. Splashes and rain exposure only, do not submerge. We have this vivid CVD blue application that gives us aesthetic inside to match the ceramic on the outside, and the look is extravagantly decorated. So it's not just the color and it's not just the skeletonization, but according to Audemars Piguet, there are 70 interior angles on this movement where bevels meet in sharp creases. And I can tell you from experience, that type of decoration and time spent is a dying art on Audemars Piguet watches. Yes, even ones like this that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Rolling around to the back, you can see the movement is large in scale, manual wind, 3-day power reserve. All of the bridges and the plates are blued. The bevels are truly high quality and mirrored, and you can see those interior angles do perk up quite a few different places, especially with the hollow confines of the bridges and plates where those bevels converge in a sharp crease. That's a time-consuming thing to do. Not necessarily an impossible skill to acquire, but a time-consuming execution to do well, and also very difficult to execute within tight confines like all of these skeletonized hollows. You can see that it is a 1-minute tourbillon, so it effectively acts as the second hand of the watch. We have rounded, polished rose gold baton-style hands. It is a free-sprung balance for precision of adjustment, and then it has an overcoil hairspring, so in any position it will keep relatively consistent time thanks to the more centered mass of an overcoil versus a flat hairspring. 19 jewels, extensively decorated, beautiful polished screws, and you can see satination across the tops of all the bridges. We have skeletonization, internal and external beveling of the ratchet wheel with polishing of its teeth on top of an open barrel that allows you to see the mainspring from both sides. And it's a large movement at 32.8 millimeters, so it nicely fills this large case. This is caliber 2948. Again, manual wind, 3 hertz, and a 3-day power reserve. Beautifully executed. If all of the Code 1159s were this appealing, and this is a 50-piece limited edition, so few will have the pleasure, but if all of the Code 1159s were this appealing, I think the model line would have launched a lot stronger. Alas, this came out as a 50-piece edition in 2022, 2 years too late to help the Code 1159 launch. There's one last detail that I want to shout out because you'll notice a little bit of disparity between the darkness of the clasp and then the brightness of the case. And yes, they're both white gold, but Audemars Piguet is one of the few brands today that really likes the look of rhodium-plated white gold. So this is white gold with a rhodium plate on top to make it look as white as platinum. And this is something that's very important to Audemars Piguet. It helps to set their white gold watches apart from the rest of the industry. Over time, burnishing can occur that can wear through and create a little patch of warmer colored metal, although it can easily be replated when it goes back to the factory for service, but just keep in mind it's a bit different in that regard. And you can see the dial depth is incredible. The motion works, the minute wheel pinion driving the hour wheel. Underneath the hour wheel is the cannon pinion, which holds the minute hand. And then we've got this lovely keyless works. And it's very difficult to do keyless works well when it's visible because it's a heavily lubricated assembly and it's easy to get messy with the lubricants in places where they can be seen. That's not a problem on a solid dial watch, but when you have a watch without a conventional dial and all of these steel parts of the keyless works are visible, the levers, the pinions, the crown wheel, the springs, it's very difficult to do this, to finish them well as small as they are, and then to assemble them so that they're functionally superb, but also aesthetically clean without any visible lubricants spilling over onto the surfaces. Really well done, and the watch sets beautifully. I would say this is probably the least dead angle I've ever experienced in terms of the angular displacement of the crown before I see the minute hand start to move, and it sets very smoothly. A wonderful watch on every level. This is the Audemars Piguet that I love. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.